So here's the finished truck, well, almost finished. I've got some lights to put on the bar and the lights at the back. I've got to do a few modifications I'll show you, but it didn't come out too bad. This paint took me a little bit of a time to work out how to use it, because I wasn't really familiar with it. Some of the panels came out a bit orange peely, but it's not too bad. It's a lot better than before, and it stood the test of the power wash. That's right, I blasted this the other day to get all the muck and dirt off it. I've got new bolts to put into here. I haven't been down the shop to get some stainless ones. But you can see by the finish on the tubes, by the time I worked out, this was my last job, by the time I worked out the correct formula for the paint, it was alright. On this side here it was a bit dry at the top, but I can do those again. Modifications I've got to do is cut this tube off. This was the carrier tube. This was going to be my carrier for the rear crossover tube if I wanted to carry long pieces of wood or timber, wood or steel. But I never carried it around, so I can just cut this off, because I put the bolt here to hold this in place right where it was. I couldn't go any lower because the pin for this goes through here. Couldn't go through that side, couldn't go that side, couldn't go that side, so I'm going to have to replay that. Again, I've got the lights to put in the back here. That's going to be quite nice. The gaps under the door, under here, well, they certainly work nice. Not sure if they're a little bit too large, but I can always screw something under the bottom. I don't really want to put foam on, because in winter it'll just it'll stick. I had some reflective sticker left over from doing the trailer over there, so I'll put that on. Yeah, so these were if you'd seen this truck before, it had not a roll bar, but a carrying bar at the top, and I had these little pins on here so you could just drop it on. Well, it all seized up, but painted it up and they look quite nice. So that's it. So I'm going to do a little bit more. Oops, I fell down the hill. I'm going to do a little bit more on this. The green roof didn't come out too bad. I was quite pleased with it. But it's a lot better than it was. I've got a few bits of wiring to tidy up. I've got a new snorkel coming, new snorkel top. For $30 it wasn't even worth messing about with. And yeah, that should be it. I even painted this bottom snorkel piece black because it was green before. Yeah, I think it looks alright. I've got the little rubber bungs to put back in the top of the bulkhead, but I think I might just take this opportunity and have a blast with some rust proofing. Yeah, no, I think that might be the way. I think I'll use some very light rust proofing in there. But after that, no, it's not a copper stopper anymore. It's a tidy little truck. I'll mention the paint now, and I'll put it on the wing top and I'll show you what it is. So this is the paint I used. It was Corotech by Benjamin Moore, high performance aliphatic acrylic urethane gloss, whatever that means. It comes in an unusual quantity, 2.75 litres for the clear, and I'll come to that in a minute, and the catalyzer is 709, and what you're supposed to do is mix that into that. That's why the can's bigger than the actual quantity of paint. And believe me, boys and girls, you do not need a lot of paint to paint a Land Rover. In the old cellulose days, we would have probably used a full can of that to do a car like this, you know, to get some body up. But modern paints, you don't need much at all. In fact, I'd be very surprised if I used a litre of paint on the whole lot, so I've got bags of paint left over. It doesn't smell like old urethane. Like on this truck here, it was BASF Uno. Very good paint, covers well, polishes up well, really nice. But the fumes off it are horrendous, so I could only paint that one panel at a time. You know, I had to sort of, because I live upstairs, even the fumes permeated all the building. It was nasty stuff. But this stuff wasn't bad at all. In fact, I painted all the black parts outside, and it came up nice. I did paint the black tubing late in the day when it was warm, and it does take a little bit of time to flash off and harden off. It's not like the Uno. And when I left it outside overnight, it cooled, and some of the black bars at the top started to bloom and go a bit white, and it didn't really dry hard. It was touch dry, but not hard dry, if you see what I mean. You could feel it. You couldn't put your fingerprint in it, but it was not sticky, but it wasn't right. So do I like it? Yes, I do. And considering that this was the black, and you can see it says clear V500-00, it's just a clear, what do you call it, acrylic, and the paint shop mixes it up with a quantity of black, and look at it, it comes out really nice jet black gloss. Very good. And like I say, you can brush it on, you can put it on with a roller. It doesn't seem to matter. It doesn't matter too much, but it covers so well. That's the beauty. So yeah, I'm kind of pleased with it. It's presentable now. I could put a sticker on that. In fact, I probably will do later on in the day. But yeah, for tidying up all Land Rovers, it's pretty good stuff. I mean, I would rather have this stuff than cars with different coloured panels on and things like this, or looking really rough. And again, if you can do it with a roller, it'd be interesting. Might be very interesting if you can do it with a roller and get the same finish. But again, don't make the mistake of following the instructions and saying put that hardener into that big pot, because it'll go off and you won't be able to use it. Just mix it separately, and be very sparing of thinners when you're spraying it, because you don't need much at all. Just literally a splash of paint thinner. If it's too thin and you put it on with a spray gun, it'll curtain or it'll run, and if you don't put too much in, it'll start to orange peel. And you can probably see on this bottom of this wing it started to orange peel, but on the bonnet it didn't, and that's because that was the last panel I painted, and I sort of worked out what the actual ratio should be. It's really hit and miss. It depends on the temperature, depends on your gun. But believe me, I painted that car with the cheapest, crappiest Canadian Tire gun set. I think it cost $100 for two high volume low pressure guns, and it came out really nice. I was very pleased at the results for very little effort. It took a bit of time prepping up, but I'm kind of pleased with it. So I'll just sign this off, and then I'll post up later today the video of when I was prepping up the tubes and the black bits and making those things there. I thought I'd do something a little bit different, do it backwards. Right, see you later, bye.